Hi friends and welcome. This is a 15-minute yoga class for all of you surfers out there, whether you want to do this practice before or after a surf session, or if you're just looking for a yoga flow that incorporates a lot of hip mobility and shoulder mobility. This is for you. Now, if you want some fun music to move to as we're flowing together, I've linked a playlist below. Hit play as soon as we're on the mat, and I will see you soon. Okay, my friend, if you're gonna listen to the playlist, let's hit play in 3, 2, 1, go. And we're gonna get started in a child's pose. So come to a tabletop position and then just wiggle your knees out as wide as the mat. Bring your big toes to touch, sink your hips back to your heels, and start to melt your forehead and your chest down, reaching your arms towards the front edge of your mat. We're just going to start our practice off by taking 3 deep breaths. As you inhale, fill up your back body. And as you exhale, let your hips get a bit heavier towards your heels. Good. Grounding down into your practice, into your body, your breath, and this moment. Exhale to soften. And one more big breath in. Fill up your back body. Feel it expand. And really melt down as you exhale. Amazing. Start to lift your chest and come forward to a tabletop position. Bring your knees in so they're right underneath of your hips. As you inhale, drop your belly, lift your tailbone, lift your chin. And as you exhale, start to round through your spine and tuck your chin into chest. Good. 2 more here. So breathe in, belly lowers, gaze goes up. Exhale to round and feel that space between the shoulder blades. 1 more, breathe in, front body opens and expands. And exhale to round. Yeah, now come to a neutral tabletop and start to walk your hands over and off the right side of the mat. Now bring your right forearm down. Reach your left arm over to the right side and melt your forehead on your right forearm. So you want to let your chest drop heavy and your hips are still stacked over top of your knees. It should feel like a bit of a C-shaped curve for the left side line of your body. So a lot of stretch happening between the ribs, right into those intercostal muscles. We work those muscles so much when we're out in the water. And I mean, if you're not a surfer and you're doing this class just for fun, it's a beautiful stretch anyways, right? Take an inhale. Really let your body soften as you exhale. Good. 1 more breath and feel that big stretch from that left wrist all the way to the left shoulder, throughout the rib cage into your left hip. Yeah, now just gently press into your hands to lift back up, come to a neutral tabletop position, so right at center. And inhale to drop your belly, lift your tailbone, lift your chin. Exhale, round through your spine, tuck your chin into chest. Awesome, come back to neutral. We'll do the other side. So walk your hands over and off the left side of the mat. Left forearm grounds down, right arm reaches over, and you start to melt your forehead down onto your left forearm. So again, feeling that intentional stretch and reach from right fingertips all the way down to that right hip. It's a bit of a C-shaped curve, and your hips are definitely stacked over top of the knees. That's going to help create that slope and that intensity of the stretch in the right side line of your body. Take 2 full breaths. Good. Really feel that extra bit of space that you create with the inhale. And then really give your body permission to soften as you exhale. Amazing. Gently press into your hands. Come all the way back through to center to neutral. And then tuck your toes, lift your hips up, reach them all the way back for your first downward facing dog. Your tailbone's going to be the highest point, okay? So think about an upside down V shape in your body. Now start to pedal out your heels, bending one knee then the other. Spread your fingers wide and shake out your head so there's no tension in the back of your neck. Big breath in. And a big breath out. Awesome. Look forward and start to walk towards the top of your mat. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Let your upper body drape heavy over top of your legs. Now bend your knees as much as you need to so that your fingertips can be touching the mat just in front of your toes. Bend your right knee and bend your right elbow so that they make contact. And then try to keep your left leg fairly straight. As you open your chest to the left side, left hand can come to your low back, or your left arm can reach up towards the ceiling. Awesome. Breathing in a lot of space into the mid-spine and that outer edge of that left leg. And exhale, bring the left arm all the way down, left fingertips in front of your left toes, bend your knee, bend your elbows so they connect. Right hand comes to your low back, open your chest to the right side as you try to straighten your right leg a little bit more. Good, and maybe that right arm starts to reach up big, inhale, and exhale. You got it. Right hand is going to come all the way down. Strong legs to stand all the way up. Reach up, gaze up, get tall. And exhale, hinge from your hips, forward fold, melt it down. Find a halfway lift as you inhale. So bring your hands to your shins and lengthen out through the crown of your head. Exhale to fold and step your left leg all the way back. Bring your left knee down to the mat, untuck your toes and rise up to a low lunge. Arms are going to reach up overhead. Good. Now notice if you're lifted, it's all good, but this time I want you to intentionally sink the hips forward and down. And it's okay if your knee kind of moves a little bit forward beyond your ankle. It's going to help with that ankle mobility. Okay, and of course a big stretch into the front of that left hip, hip flexor and psoas. Take an inhale and exhale. One more, breathe in and breathe out. Awesome. Now bring your hands down inside of your right foot and heel toe your right foot to the outer edge of the mat. You can always spin your right toes out to the right side, a little 45-degree angle. And then open your chest to the right side. Maybe your right hand comes to your right thigh. Option to stay right here, my friend, or you can add a quad stretch. A bend into that left knee, maybe reaching the right hand back and grabbing the top of the left foot. If it's there today, it's there. And if it's not, don't force it, okay? Just go with what your body is looking for and breathe in. Breathe out. One more inhale, giving your body just a bit of extra time to stretch and soften into this as you exhale. Yeah, release your foot if you've got it. Bring everything back through to center. Now keep your right foot on the outer edge of the mat so your right foot is wide. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up, and we're going to put a bend into the left knee. Step left foot up and outside of left hand. So your heels are on the mat, spin your toes off of the mat and bend your knees, come down into a low squat, malasana. So option for elbows to be on the inner thighs, or you might be a little higher with elbows resting on top of your thighs. Either way, you're creating a good amount of space into the inner lines of the thighs, inner edges of your hips. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Good, one more inhale and exhale. Yeah, awesome. Now wherever you are, strong legs, push into your feet, rise all the way up, stand up, reach up, heel toe your feet so they're right in line with your hips, and forward fold, hinge from the hips, melt it down. Find a halfway lift as you breathe in, hands to shins, lengthen your spine. Exhale to fold, ground your hands and step your right leg all the way back. Right knee comes down to the mat, untuck your toes and rise up to your low lunge. Shoulders stack over top of your hips. Good, breathe in. And as you exhale, you're gonna let your hips sink forward and down a little bit more. So this becomes quite passive. Again, you can also drag your heel in a couple more inches so that your knee moves just a bit beyond your ankle to just wake up the mobility in the back side of that ankle. Inhale and exhale. Good, notice where there's resistance and try to let your breath flow through that space. Breathe in and breathe out. Nice. Now bring your hands down inside of your left foot, heel toe your left foot to the outer edge of the mat, and you can always spin your left toes out slightly to a 45-degree angle. Bring your left hand to your left thigh, a little rotation, little twist to the left side. Totally hang out here if this feels good. Or maybe you start to put a bend into that right knee. Left hand can reach back for that right foot, an added quad stretch, a little more depth into the front of that right hip flexor as well. Awesome. Now close your eyes. Try to find that deep breath. Amazing. One more, please. Inhale and exhale. Okay, release your foot if you've got it. Left hand is going to come back down. Keep your left foot on the outer edge of the mat. So you're keeping that wide stance. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee up. Now it's a little rock back and right foot steps up to the outer edge of the mat. Bend your knees, sink down into your Malasana yogi squat one more time. Again, from here or here is perfectly fine. If you have elbows on thighs, just try to get heavy with the seat, a little angle of your torso. If you're down here with elbows on the inner thighs, you're trying to drop heavier with your seat, so there's a bit of a longer line from top of your head down to your tailbone. Breathe in and breathe out. Good, give me one more here. Inhale and exhale. Okay, strong legs, push into your feet, rise all the way up, stand up, reach up, keep your arms up, heel toe your feet in line with your hips, interlace your fingers, pointer fingers and thumbs are gonna be pointing upward. Now cross your right leg behind your left, inhale to lift up tall and exhale, tilt over to the left side. So again, getting into the sideline of the body, outer edge of the shoulder, space throughout the intercostals, the rib cage, all the way down that right leg. Inhale and exhale. Yeah, bring everything back through to center. Just reverse the crisscross of your fingers. Left leg crosses behind the right. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, tilt over to the right side. Get grounded into that left heel. Reach out through the fingertips. Breathe in and breathe out. This song is so funky. I'm really loving it for this flow. Okay, bring everything back to center and forward fold, hinge from your hips, melt everything down. Take a halfway lift as you breathe in, hands to shins, lengthen your spine, and exhale, fold, plant your hands. Now this time, step your feet back, but keep your hips lifted high so that you land in a downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide and take a big breath right now. Inhale and exhale. Good, now look forward and slowly guide your right knee up and ground it inside of your right wrist. So your shin is gonna be on a bit of a diagonal. Wiggle your left leg back. Left knee can always come down for your pigeon pose, deep into the outer edge of that left hip, left glute. And it also actually gives you a nice stretch in the front of that left hip. So you can stay nice and tall. Another option is to hinge forward. Forearms might come down. Another option is to actually do a little bit of lean over to the left side, or rather travel your forearms so that you still get into that right glute, right hip, but now you create a bit of space from that right hip space to the lower right ribs, you know, right in that juicy bit. If you're doing it, you might know what I'm talking about, right? If you can feel it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Amazing. Now come back to center if you're not there already. And then press up to your hands if you're not there already. Tuck your back toes. Slowly lift yourself all the way up. Hips go up and back. Downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Lift your heels, round your spine, ripple forward and through to a high plank just for a moment. And then bend your knees, bring them on down, untuck your toes, lower all the way down to your chest. Reach your right arm over to the right side. You can either have that right arm straight or it's a cactus shape, a bend of your elbow. Bend your left knee and peel over onto that right hip so that your left hip stacks over top of the right. Let your head rest down and find 2 intentional breaths into the right side of your chest and shoulder. Amazing. One more. Breathe in and breathe out. Come back through to center. And then left arm over to the left side, half T-shape or that cactus. Bend your right knee, peel over onto the left hip. Let your head rest heavy. 2 breaths into this left side, left shoulder and chest. Yeah, and then find your way back through to center. Bring both hands beside your chest, tuck your toes, push up to a table, lift your hips up, reach them back, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Look forward and gently bring your left knee up and ground it inside of your left wrist. Your shin comes down, your right knee comes down. Wiggle your right leg back, and then you might just land here up high on your fingertips, tall spine, equal weight into both hips, or you might start to hinge forward. Any variation or expression of your pigeon pose, maybe the forearms move over to the right side. A few deep breaths. Good, really letting the mind and the body soften as one. And just giving yourself that extra bit of time to release any tension. One more breath. Awesome. And then find your way back through to center. Lift your chest up, and you can actually just sit over onto your left hip. Bring your right leg in front. Find a crisscross seat. And inhale to reach your arms up. Breathe in. Exhale, twist to the right side. Left hand on your right knee, right hand behind you. Good, just to neutralize the spine. Inhale, arms up, gaze forward. Exhale, twist to the left side, right hand on the knee, left fingertips behind you. And inhale, arms up, gaze up. Exhale, bring it on down. Amazing. Thanks for joining me, my friend. I hope you enjoyed your surf, or I hope you are about to enjoy your surf. Or if you just enjoyed this practice, you know I'm happy to have you here. I'll see you next time.